we move on to discuss NFL MVP odds. So, updated NFL MVP odds with some big results that happened over this weekend, and there's some, and obviously, interesting candidates here, and they're the top five are all quarterbacks, no surprise here. And Patrick Mahomes, he has dropped down actually down to four. I'm looking at USA Today's rankings. They have Hurts 5. They have Mahomes 4. They have Jared Goff 3. Lamar 2. And Josh Allen 1. And it's so fascinating how Lamar can go suddenly from being clear cut out as the MVP to now suddenly it all shifting towards Josh Allen after his big result that he had against Kansas City, and specifically that big play, that big run. But the wild thing is, I believe the MVP is, it almost like matters. The biggest and most important thing is almost how you end off, because now Josh Allen is ranked number one, right? But people tend to forget how the Bills played the Ravens earlier this season, and they got absolutely dog walked. The Bills did, and Josh Allen did not perform great. He had a few good plays here and there. That touchdown was all him, or the touchdown drive was all Josh Allen making a play on Scrabble. But he went 16 of 29 that game, 180 yards, and he was dominated. They couldn't stop much of the bleeding. If you look at also another game, the other game that he lost this season, that Josh Allen lost against the Texans, they lose 23-20 in that ball game, and he goes 9 of 30 for 131 yards and a touchdown. And obviously the rest of the numbers are great and the performances are great, but I just want to put things into context. The Chiefs, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. You get by the Colts. You beat Miami in almost essentially a walk-off. Miami's first real game back with Tua. Actually, I believe he played the game earlier. You destroy Seattle, which, again, it's not saying much. There, you destroy Tennessee, and again, the same thing. And then you scrape by the Jets. I haven't been that impressed with, this Bills unit. I think this win against Kansas City is impressive, but also the caveat with the Kansas City win is, you've had relative success over Kansas City the last couple of times in the regular season. When is it the big game you show up? But as far as MVP, look, he's done well. Josh Allen, he's never won an MVP award, but he has finished top 5 in the last 3 out of 4 seasons. And he was actually the runner-up in 2020 when Rodgers won it. And then he was a finalist again in 2022, and then he got 5th place in 2023. The thing with Lamar is, he lost that game against the Ravens and he struggled. But the numbers are incredible. He has 25 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, throwing 2,876 yards, 117.3 quarterback rating. He's been or passer rating or whatever. He's been elite, not just in terms of throwing the ball, but also moving the ball. I believe I saw a stat that said he was on pace for. Actually, I don't have the stat pulled up. It's something I need to pull up. Yes, but it was an unbelievable stat of how efficient and how dominant he is being, not just with his legs, but also with his arms. And he's He's able to push the ball down the field, and he's able to deliver accurate footballs and all that. And there was people that doubted him, and I was just like, it's just a little bit of a project with Lamar Jackson. And when he was brought in, actually, he was brought in, I thought originally to be a third stringer because they really had Robert Griffin there behind Joe Flacco. And, he went into that quarterback room. He got into one of the backup roles. And when the opportunity arose, he took advantage of it. And now he is what? A 27-year-old, two-time MVP. He's absolutely brilliant. And so I don't know. Him and Josh Allen it's tight. I think Jared Goff is right there. Look, here's the thing with Jared Goff, and here's how he wins MVP. Chiefs need to start losing a few games so he doesn't get in a race between him and Mahomes. The way Jared Goff wins MVP is he takes advantage of a poor class. He needs Lamar and Josh Allen to have a few stinkers here and there to the end of the season. And he needs to maintain his level, maintain the wins, continue to be number one in the NFC. Amon-Ra does. Not Amon-Ra. Jared Goff does. He needs to continue to be that number one seed, win the games, and play the football that he's been doing. Because, look, it's not the most flashy that Jared Goff is. And the numbers, they will stand out in certain games, but they're not crazy. The play definitely doesn't stand up. But he's making the throws he needs to make. He's being consistent. He's being efficient. And if you are a Detroit Lions fan and you're screaming from the top of your lungs, he is the MVP, well, we can't shame them because, he's playing really, really good football. And he is the quarterback of an elite offense, one of the best position groups, not just for the Detroit Lions, but in terms of football. He has a 73% completion percentage. Jared Goff does. By the way, that 73% completion percentage amongst that is the lead in the NFL amongst quarterbacks who played at least 8 games. And that is completely rare air because, the last person to do that is Drew Brees, was 74.4%, and he did that in 2018. He's also, Jared Goff is his 4th in passing touchdowns and 9th in yards. He's been impressive. Mahomes being at 4th, no real surprise there. He's only on pace for 25 touchdowns, and he's also on pace for 18th interception. It's been a little bit of a down year for Patrick Mahomes individually, but until this weekend, they were undefeated. But with Mahomes and with this Chiefs team, it really took that one loss for people to start, backing off them. And because they're just, they've been surviving in moments, and it sometimes it could just take that one. But look, the way that they survived, the way that they've been surviving, the way that they started off 9-0 because of that, who's to say that they, that they don't end up just doing it in the Super Bowl again? It's just sad. It's a really harsh reality. And then Jalen Hurts is ranked number 5 according to this website, and I can't say, I think Jalen Hurts has had an up and down last season, this season up to now, but so far he's been flying high. They are 8-2. And they're returning to being that juggernaut of a team that started off 10-1. But the problem with that team is they finished at 7-11-6, and they got completely bull rushed by Tampa Bay. But overall, I think Jalen Hurts, he's picking and choosing moments to push the ball down the field. He's very, very efficient in terms of having a complete quarterback rating of 103.4, and the fact that he's thrown also 2,197 yards and then 12 touchdowns and has had 12 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. and the Eagles continue to have a legitimate path to get that home field advantage, he definitely will be in the MVP race when the time has come to make that decision. He's been great, and so have the Eagles.